So this book, A Turkey for Thanksgiving, is written by Eve Bunting, and it's illustrated by Diane DeGroat. And it's got beautiful pictures. I love this book. A Turkey for Thanksgiving. Oh, look, this is funny. It's got a picture of, we used to make these in school, a turkey, and it's got the pilgrims, you know, the pilgrims that had the first Thanksgiving in the United States. It was Thanksgiving morning. This is about a Moose family. Mr. Moose helped Mrs. Moose set the Thanksgiving table. Sheep will sit here. He likes a chair that's straight up and down, Mr. Moose said. Rabbit here, Porcupine here, Mr. and Mrs. Goat here. He smiled at his wife. Isn't it nice to have friends to share Thanksgiving? That is really nice. It's really nice to have friends. Have them over for dinner. So they're going to have all of their friends come over for Thanksgiving dinner. Mrs. Moose set 2 paper pilgrims, one at each end of the table. She placed the paper turkey with its great fan of a tail between the candles and stood back. They look good, my dear, Mr. Moose said. Mrs. Moose sighed. Yes, but I wish we had a real turkey. Everyone always has a turkey for Thanksgiving. Everyone but us. Mr. Moose nuzzled Mrs. Moore's head. Well, that won't do. I will go this minute and find you a turkey for Thanksgiving. I love turkey for Thanksgiving. So when he nuzzled her head, he was just sort of kissing her on her neck. That's what dads do to their moms, don't they? This is a nice Mr. Moose. Oh, this is set in the wintertime. It's somewhere where it's really cold. Here in Thanksgiving, we don't have snow. Mr. Moose put on his cap and went out. Mist wandered through the bare trees. Mist is that watery stuff that you have in the morning sometimes when it's cold. The cold made his nose water. Rabbit poked his head from his rabbit hole. Mr. Moose, is it dinner time? Not quite yet. Mrs. Moose wants a turkey. I'm off to find one. I always have a turkey for Thanksgiving. Rabbit joined him in 3 quick hops. I'll come too. So here's a rabbit, and he's going to join Mr. Moose in going to find a turkey. Moose's warm breath hung white in front of him. Snow crunched under his hooves and made little holes that Rabbit jumped over. I see the goats, Rabbit said. Mr. Goat raised his head and spat out the tin can he was chewing. Goats don't really eat tin cans, so they'll eat anything that's in it, and they'll eat the paper off the outside. Is it dinner time, Mr. Goat said. Not until I find a turkey, Mr. Moose said. We saw one down by the river, Mrs. Goat told him. And Mr. Goat added, a big fat turkey. So there's the goats in their funny little house, and they've been invited for dinner. The goats leaped down from their perch. We'll show you where the turkey is. Sheep was farther up the hillside, looking round as a fur ball in his winter coat, because sheep get a lot of fur in the wintertime. Is it dinner time? He bellowed. First I have to find a turkey, Mr. Moose bellowed back. There's a turkey nest on the riverbank, Sheep called. Wait for me. So he's got a hat on. We had sheep on our farm, but they didn't have hats. But they did have a lot of fur in the wintertime. The earth smelled of ice and moss as they crunched along. Above them, a crow hung, black as a puff of wood smoke. Porcupine was hiding in the underbrush. It's you, he said, and put his quills down, because, you know, porcupines, if they're scared, they put their quills up. We're off to get a turkey for Mrs. Moose, Mr. Moose explained. Do you want to come? I'm slow, Porcupine said. Pick me up on your way back. Who'd want to pick you up? Yeah, you wouldn't want to pick up a porcupine because the quills would stick you. Sheep asked, and then he laughed, his bleat of a laugh. I guess sheep laugh like this. I'm not sure. I'll wait, Porcupine told Mr. Moose. And there's Porcupine. He has earmuffs on. I love these animals because they're all ready for winter. I wonder where they bought the earmuffs. They saw Turkey's nest right away, and Turkey himself peering over the top of it. Turkey, Turkey, Mr. Moose called in his sweetest voice. Ah! Turkey blundered from his nest and ran. See, Turkey doesn't want to get eaten, does he? He's a smart turkey. Mr. Moose lumbered after him. I guess mooses don't run very fast. Turkey, don't run. We just want you for Thanksgiving dinner. Turkey ran faster. Now this is funny. So this is where Turkey lives, and he's got 2 signs. One says, no turkey here, and the other says, do not disturb, come back after Thanksgiving, because he knows lots of people like to eat turkey for Thanksgiving dinner. So all the animals are there looking at him. Mr. Moose saw the red and blue sheen of Turkey's neck. Turkey's tail brushed crumbs of snow behind him as he tried to fly. Too fat, Mr. Goat said. Yeah, turkeys can't fly because they're too fat. They're like chickens, they can't fly much. Turkey's legs bent in the middle as he fell. Mr. Moose put a booted hoof on his head. Oh, he's got boots on him. And smiled his great toothy smile. I hope you don't have other plans for Thanksgiving, Turkey. Oh my God, look, there's a fork. And oh, that's a little scary for the poor turkey. Look how scared the turkey looks. I don't blame him. Who wants to get eaten? He helped Turkey up. My wife won't mind that you're too fat, he said. Let's go. It's getting close to dinner time. Yeah, because you don't want a skinny turkey at Thanksgiving dinner, do you? You want one that's sort of plump. They marched Turkey out in front. I'm sorry about this, for I can see that you don't want to come, Mr. Moose said, but I must insist, a promise is a promise. Poor turkey. This is a little scary. There was a wreath of dried fruit on the moose's door. Inside, the house was filled with Thanksgiving smells. Mr. Moose hid Turkey behind him. Look who I brought, Mrs. Moose, he said. Sheep, the goats, rabbit, and porcupine. And ta-da! He pushed Turkey around in front of him. For you, a turkey for Thanksgiving. Oh, he's so proud because he did what his wife wanted. That's a good husband. But look at Turkey. Turkey's hiding behind him because he doesn't want to get eaten. Oh, I don't blame him. Mrs. Moose clapped her hooves. I'm so happy to have you, Turkey. Thank you, Mr. Moose. Now everything's perfect. Shall we sit? Sheep asked, heading for the straight up and down chair. Let's, Mrs. Moose pointed. Rabbit here, Porcupine here, Mr. and Mrs. Goat here, and look, I brought a chair from the other room in hopes of Turkey. Chair? Turkey stammered. Right next to me, Mrs. Moose said. Light the candles, Mr. Moose. So Turkey is so shocked that he's going to get to sit at the table because he thinks he's going to be cooked and put on the table. There were bowls of acorns and alfalfa sprouts, dried since summer. There was willow bark and cured grasses and wild parsley. There were pressed leaves, thin and pale as new ice on a pond. I hope you find something here to your liking, Mr. Turkey, Mrs. Moose said. I wasn't sure of your taste. You are so kind to worry about my taste, Turkey said. I thought you'd be worrying about how I would taste, because he thought they were going to cook him. But see, none of these animals eat meat, do they? They eat fruits and vegetables and things. I think I like my turkey dinner better. Heavens no, Mr. Moose smiled his big toothy smile and filled everyone's cup with cold spring water. It's so nice to have friends around the table at Thanksgiving. Turkeys waddles wobbled. Turkeys have these waddles underneath. Old ladies, grandmas have waddles too, because when you get old, you get skin down under your neck. And you've seen turkeys waddle. It's so nice to have friends around the table at Thanksgiving. Turkeys waddles wobbled. It's even nicer to be at your table and not on your table, he said. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. So look, Turkey is so happy because he's with friends and he's not going to get eaten. Happy Thanksgiving, Turkey. But I think it's okay if we eat turkey for Thanksgiving because it tastes so good. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone.